Greetings everyone and welcome back to Planet Zoo and the Tankwa Conservation Park. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with me, and today we're going to be doing something, I wasn't actually planning to do this, but it ended up being quite a cool little build actually, and that is a little African buffalo enclosure or habitat. I was originally planning to put some cats on the side. I was thinking a cheetah, but the Cape Buffalo won out, partly because I'm thinking of creating an area of this park that is exclusively for cats. So I needed something else to fit in here, and I thought the African buffalo would be kind of cool. So African buffalo it is. So just on the sort of habitat side, as you can see, I'm doing another one of those nice walk through, or it's not going to walk through the habitat this time, it's going to walk alongside it. And it's going to kind of have a raised platform at either end. There'll be a viewing platform on the far side, and the side that you see working on right now, the one behind the main entrance at the back of the amphibian house, as it were, is going to have a little bit of a restaurant attached to it, which I thought would be kind of cool. Have a cup of coffee, a burger, some fries, Coke maybe, and watch the buffalo graze. So graze while the buffalo graze, if that makes sense. So as you can see, I'm plopping the fence of the habitat along here. It creates that nice long walkway there, and the double bonus of it is that it gives us a nice view of the common warthog as well, which is really nice. You'll see a little bit more of that later when we skip out of this time lapse and go into a little bit of a closer real-time walkthrough. So while I continue building out the habitat here, let's just talk about the African buffalo, because that's what we like doing on this channel. We don't just like talking about Planet Zoo itself, we like talking about the animals. So African buffalo here, interesting that the game actually calls them the African buffalo, because that's not actually what they're most commonly known as. They're actually most commonly known as Cape buffalo or water buffalo. They are not actually very often called African buffalo. In fact, this is probably the first time I've ever seen them called that, which is really, really interesting. So they are different to the Asian buffalo. Recorrecting myself there. The Asian buffalo are the ones that are called water buffalo. These ones we most commonly call them Cape buffalo, and they're actually part of the Big Five. So the Big Five being sort of your biggest five animals that you can kind of see around this part of the world. Lion, leopard, rhinoceros, elephant, buffalo. I think that's them. I think that's them, if I'm correct. They are fantastically large animals. I mean, really much bigger than you think they would be. I mean, wow. I just can't actually, over 5 feet tall. They're scary. When you see them in real life, you realize the weight and muscle on them. They're beefy, but trust me, that ain't fat. That's pure muscle. They're actually, although we commonly call them the Cape buffalo, they actually live throughout sub-Saharan Africa. They're quite sort of well evenly distributed, to be honest. And although they're not endangered, like most big game on the side of the world, they are kind of confined to national parks, nature reserves, and sort of areas that are sort of legally managed as conservation zones and areas, of which there are quite a few. But they are losing, what would be, I suppose you could traditionally call their traditional grazing land. They're very much still threatened by human activity, as all game is. Illegal hunting, taking grazing lands for farmland, being built on for cities. It kind of erodes into the space they normally had. So there's not as many of them around as there used to be, but they're around, and you will most definitely see them if you drive into most national parks around this side of the world. And they live in herds too. Majority of the herds are related females, as far as I know. And then within that herd, there'll be sort of groups of bachelor males, and usually a solitary dominant male who lurks on the sort of periphery of the herd. You'll normally find them out there. You'll have the biggest horns by a long way. The very much biggest horns, and he will protect that harem of his, defend them from other rival males, and keep dominance over those sort of younger male bachelors that exist within the herd. Typical behavior, if you ask me, of that kind of thing. You do kind of expect it. They are a member of the cow family, a bovid. They're just the largest one. I suppose they're just a cow, really. defending their territory. So yeah, as you can see, let's get back to the habitat that we're building here quickly. So you can see I'm doing some rock work and everything on this side of everything, making it look good. It actually ended up being a much longer build than I originally planned. Building out the two buildings on the either side meant that I spent a lot of time on the architecture than normal, but it still looks pretty good. I think we fenced this off here and we did some mulch. There's some lovely flower beds that exist along the sides, and I really do like how it all ended up turning out. I can't wait to show you in the walkthrough at the end of this. I'm also starting to get a little bit more used to the pieces within this game and how things work. We've got we're gonna. I think I eventually changed the top of the top here to wood. There it goes. There goes the wood. Yep, there you go. And that's gonna look fantastic once it's all out. So yeah, I really do like the way this ended up looking. It looks fantastic. Those edges look really good in the end. So yeah, let's get back to the African buffalo, or the Cape buffalo. My friend's the buffalo. So yeah, they are some cool, interesting facts about them. So unlike other bovid species, as we were talking about earlier, them being cows and all, they're actually immune to something called that is well known on the side of the world called sleeping sickness, which is transmitted by a little fly called the tsetse fly. And the tsetse fly, it kind of, I think it's not like a mosquito, so it's not drinking blood, but it's laying its eggs, I think, if I remember correctly, in little wounds that it creates on its targets. And that kind of, it leaves a disease. Obviously it infects and a disease happens, and then it creates this disease called sleeping sickness, which is incredibly dangerous to most cows. Really, if you drive around some parts of southern Africa, you'll see big signs going, this is a tsetse fly management area. So it's just kind of key that the buffalo, obviously being out in the wild, have managed to develop immunity to that. Good old genetics in action. They also have, and this is really, really, really interesting, they have really excellent memories, and they've been recordings before of them making vengeful attacks against not only other animals such as lions and etc., but hunters as well. So past hunters that might have taken someone out of their herd, they might see that hunter again, and off goes a vengeful attack. So yeah, they seem to have pretty good memories. And talking about attacks, they are really one of the most dangerous animals alive. There is a reason why they are part of the Big Five. I think that they're probably responsible for around, last time I looked, there was around 200 people, killing 200 people a year in Africa. I mean, it's a big place, Africa, but still, 200 people killed by a cow. That's pretty impressive. They are not to be trifled with, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, their aggressive nature also does not make them good domesticated livestock. In fact, as far as I know, most attempts at that kind of thing have absolutely 100% failed. They are far better out in the wild, living as they should. I think the last and I think most iconic thing about the buffalo, it's the thing that actually you see most often out in the wild, is its symbiotic relationship with a very small bird called the oxpecker, which is a small black and orange bird. It's got a little orange beak, and they hang around herds of zebra, wildebeest, and buffalo, and what they do is they remove the ticks and flies and stuff from the skins of these animals, and yeah, they get free rides, looked after, a buffet. And obviously the buffalo and other animals tolerate them being there because it's a service, I suppose. One of the cooler things, I think, about the good old buffalo. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little buffalo trivia. I think they're really cool animals. They're an underrated animal. I actually don't really see that many Planet Zoo builds with habitats for them. So I'm interested to see what everyone thinks of this. So yeah, before I leave you and let this time lapse just play on, we're going to continue, as you can see, building out the ends for this habitat. Foliage will come in, and all the trimmings that go with it. I really do hope you enjoy the rest of this. I will see you all in a few minutes when it comes to the walkthrough, and we will take a closer look at what we have built. Until then, enjoy. hope you all enjoyed that, and we're back now for a little bit of a walkthrough. Sitting up above here, we got the hyenas directly below us, and then we've got our lovely warthog habitat here, and then our brand new African buffalo right over here. I actually think it looks really good. There's a lot of shade in here. I think I might move this tree at some point, just so there's a bit more shade in here. I don't know, I'm not sure. But it looks pretty cool. So yeah, we got a big sign there, Buffalo Walk. I kind of like how these two paths end up joining like this, so you can kind of do a big loop. You've also got quite a nice view of the warthog down here as well, which is quite cool. I actually wanted to start this by sort of getting our camera down to this level over here, because I really like how the architecture has started to rise out and sort of give you these views from these different pathways. So imagine you're over here looking at the spotted hyena, and you're like, oh look there's the Buffalo Walk. So let's actually scoot around as the guests would do. Let's get a little bit lower down, maybe up to their level. So yeah, coming down here, you've also got the spotted hyena on this side. Lovely viewing area for them, but then Buffalo Walk. And I kind of like how we've done this actually. Let's get ourselves up here, up the stairs. And yeah, in here we've got some lovely benches. Again, there's just like another, you can imagine grabbing a drink and coming and have a sit down over here. And you've been able to check out the hyenas down there, look over this side, and there's some buffalo roaming. That's pretty cool. This is a bit open here. I might put a couple more of those benches in, just to stack it out and make it look a bit fuller. But yeah, right over here you got this lovely view of the buffalo over here, with their feeding trough right down on that side. Education boards there, I think there's one over there as well. And then once you've had a good look at them like this, you can choose to come down around these stairs and down into this little walk over here, which, like I said, you've got a pretty cool view of the warthog down on this side as well. Look, there's one having a swim. That's pretty cool. And on this side you get the buffalo right over here, which I kind of like. More education boards, a couple of benches over here, and you can imagine to come plonk yourself down here, have a good look at the buffalo roaming. Yes, we come down here, more viewing space. The space over here is specifically around the water hole, which is cool. Watering hole, that's kind of nice little view there. And again, still got a really cool view of the warthog on this side. We actually put a warthog education board right over there as well, which kind of helps. And then we can continue down Buffalo Walk and then up this nice little ramp, which I kind of like, because, you know, enough stairs up this little ramp, and you come into what I would like to eventually call the Watering Hole Cafe. And over here we have a couple of I think that's a chief beef, pip juice, we got coffee, Fox coffee I think, and Monsieur Fitz, some lovely benches over here for the guests to sit down and have a lovely munch. And then look at this amazing view here out over the watering hole here, and a better view of the buffalo over here. And then just so everyone knows, there is a little buffalo sleeping pad over here. You can have a look. 3 of them have decided to take a nap inside the shelter, which is great. Love the fact that they use this, which is fantastic. And otherwise, this is quite an open habitat actually. The buffalo don't like too much foliage coverage, so it's pretty grassy, pretty open, enough space for them to play, and I think it looks fantastic. And it's going to look even better when we do some stuff up here on this viewing deck, and we get people standing up there and having a look at the buffalo from down there as well. So that's it. I kind of like how this has all happened. Let's actually get down here and have a look at how this all ties together, because this is kind of the last part of it. We haven't finished over here, but you can come down over here with the watering hole, and it leads down into this little area here, which I'm still sort of planning. There's obviously a nice warthog viewing spot over here and over here, but this is this little plaza over here, which we will get developed sooner rather than later, and that'll lead off, I think, into the next section of the park, which I think will probably be primates. So we're going to do primates around this section over here, and this will be a nice little plaza lead into that. So yeah, fantastic little habitat. I'm very happy to have found something to fill the spot in, and it looks great. Little entrance over there, and yeah, we're all happy, and I think the buffalo are going to love their new home. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please let me know what you think below in the comments. And we shall be getting on to, I think, some primates in the next episode, and maybe even some cats. I think we might do a filler sooner rather than later as well. I was thinking some ostrich somewhere around here, just to fill in this gap over here, so that we can kind of fill the park out over here, and we can, get started on reaching out for the stars. But yeah, looking pretty good. Park's becoming quite large, and we've got more than one or two really lovely habitats in there, and I'm very happy with how it's looking. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode. As always, please keep yourself safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, and I'll see you soon. I'm the Beard, signing out.